What's up, you guys?
Alright, you guys, so I'm here with a new video today, and I'm here to show you guys the little bit of changes I've made to the Thunder Dragon deck. As you guys can tell, I'm actually using my phone to record this. I basically only have one free hand for this, so this is not going to be as, I guess, clean as my regular deck profiles. I'm nowhere near my setup or any of my stuff. I'm actually on vacation through the new year, but I still brought my cards with me because I'm still always messing with decks and always trying to figure out how to make improvements to them. This is just another version of Thunder Dragons that I got introduced to. It's something you guys have probably seen before. It's more of like a chaos build of Thunder Dragons. It's actually a little more wombo combo-y too, which is nice. I wanted a little change of pace just to kind of learn the deck inside and out, and I have liked it. Personally, I think the more like streamlined build might be more to my player, like to my play style, but like overall, I think the deck is really good. I think that it's just another way to play the deck, and I think it's something you guys will definitely enjoy. But give it a thumbs up if you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys had a great Christmas. I hope you guys have a great New Year. There's not going to be too many videos probably between now and then, only because, again, I said I am on vacation, and, I will try to pop out some videos here and there. Luckily, I've been getting some deck profiles sent to me, so I hope you guys are enjoying those. But this is just another version of Thunder Dragons you guys can play. I definitely want your guys' feedback. I'm sure you guys have some great suggestions for this. I want to give a shout out to my boy, Andres Espinoza. He was actually the one who kind of inspired me to try this build, and I've just been messing with it. Like, this isn't like the set in stone build of it, but it's definitely something you guys can try out. So I'll get into it. You guys already know, shout out to Duel Links, best token ever. But bear with me, like I said, it's not going to be the best deck profile because it's, on my phone. But for the Thunder Dragons, of course, we play 3 OG Thunder Dragon. That card is still insane. We play 3 Dark. This is like one of the best ones. Same with 3 Roar. I'm still playing the 3 Roar. I think a lot of people, try to cut this to 2, and I will admit I do side 1 copy out a lot of times. Like, I think it's one of the easier cards to side out for game 2 and game 3. But what I like about this is because this is like one of your starters. Like, if you open like a fusion card and then being able to banish it with the fusion card to make a Titan, it at least triggers it and it gets Dark out of the deck. So I still like it at 3. I think it's like the essential card you want to send always off of Batteryman Solar, and it's just really good in general with Gold Sark. So I still max out on that. The difference, though, and this is something you guys have probably seen from Andres's deck as well as the other Andres's deck from PPG, is that we're only playing 2 copies of Hawk and 2 copies of Matrix. Now, this was a big change for me since I usually max out on these cards. One thing I noticed, though, is that it is true out of all the effects, these 2 are kind of the weakest, and I say that because, yes, this has a great in-hand effect to work with Titan, and yes, it gives you that 500 boost, and yes, it can search itself, and yes, this has a great revival effect, but a lot of times you open them, and it's like, unless you already have something established, this card is usually dead. And I know you can mulligan with this card, but that effect is just kind of eh. I feel if you're using that effect, you're probably already losing, so I'm trying it at 2 and 2. So far, it's been fine. I haven't bricked with it. I haven't overdrawn it. There were times that like I would search the fusion card instead of this, and maybe that was a mistake. I think like overall, it comes down to what you're really trying to end with, because there is one main link monster you go into in this deck, and you guys will see why we play so many different kinds of extenders to get there. But these were good so far. So I mean, we did cut a couple Thunder Dragons, and I mean that's fine. Like, I do miss them at times, but I think like for this version of the deck, you kind of have to do that. And of course, I still play the 1 duo. I love this card. I think this card is insane. Like, I think this card is still one of the best cards in the deck. I think not enough people respect this card because it's such a great follow-up play with the fusion card to banish it, search this card, and then just summon it. Plus, you can do a lot with it. You can use it for Titan. You can use it for basically when you don't really have anything going on. If you have a light and a dark in the grave, being able to banish those, summon this, discard a card, and then send this off for Colossus is great. So those are all the Thunder Dragons. Starter cards, 2 solar. I kind of want to play 3 of this just because in this version of the deck, this card is actually really essential. I think this card is like one of the best cards in the deck just because being able to just Armageddon Knight anything is insane. I think like for what you're trying to do with this deck, you guys will notice once we get to the extra deck. I think you guys will be able to see once you start seeing some of these cards that we do have a basic starter play that we want that helps us, like kind of just get where we need to go with the deck. So 2 solar was good, but definitely something I consider at 3. I swear to God, I don't know how people record with their phones. Like, it's hard. Like, I'll be honest, it's hard. But anyways, 2 Sky Blaster. This card's the nuts, actually. Like, this card just makes your Saryuja surprise. We play Saryuja, but man, this card plus Brilliant Fusion is insane. This card plus Gold Sark is insane because like you Gold Sark for Roar, summon this, get 2 tokens, then you Link Climb, and then you just go into Saryuja, and it's like, man, so this card is nuts. I wouldn't play it at 3 though because I don't want to brick on it, but man, this card, whew, by itself is insane. And then some of the MVPs, believe it or not, probably the only MVP though is actually the 2 white Wyva Buster. And you do play the 1 Collapse Serpent to search, but man, Wyva Buster is insane. Like, this plus Solar is so good because you just Solar, send Roar, banish Roar, summon this. Roar effect triggers, Solar's effect triggers, and there's your instant Saryuja right there. As you guys can see, we're playing a lot of extenders to get to Saryuja turn 1 because Saryuja just does so much for the deck, being able to, you know, special summon a monster, being able to draw cards, just, it's insane. So just a bunch of extenders. I think that little Chaos Dragons are actually good though because they work off of your off of what you send with Solar and what you you know, usually put in the grave for Colossus, so it's not bad. I still play the 1 Amber. So one thing I noticed is some people are playing Seraph Knight and they're playing Snow. This is something that Andres Torres started playing this with Snow, and then you have an interruption on your opponent's turn. I tried that. I didn't care for it as much, only because I felt Prismora was more important in the long game. That I would rather have that than Seraph Knight because I can't really make anything with Seraph Knight, if you get what I'm saying. Like, I can't banish it and a Thunder in my hand to, you know, get a Titan and then start triggering effects. So I kept it to that. So that's it for all the monsters. And then just hand traps. I played 3 Ash, staple. I think you have to play 3 of this. And I also played 2. I still played the 2 Ogres. So the Ogres were because of how prevalent the Rongo deck is. And of course 3 impermanents, but the Rongo deck is really prevalent now that it won the ARG. Not that it wasn't already, but you need answers to that deck, and this is one of the best answers. This is one of the best answers. This is good. Like, this is good against Isolde. This is good against Summon Sword. This is good against Summon Sword. This is good against everything. Like, I felt these hand traps overall were the best hand traps against that deck. Yes, Bell is fine, like if you can hit the Soul Charge, but I mean, if they're already getting the Soul Charge, you probably lost anyway. So I felt these cards were the best overall. Plus, they have applications against pretty much every matchup. Ogre kind of sucks against Thunder Dragons, but you have it there for multi-roll, and you can always just side it out. So, and you can also use it against Solar, so it's not terrible. But that's it for the monsters. Spells, we've got, of course, 3 Gold Sark staple. Don't need to explain that. Same with 3 Brilliant Fusion. Shouldn't really have to explain that. Good starter card. I know you can brick on this if you draw Amber, but at least Amber isn't a dead draw if you have a Thunder Dragon to discard. So, still really love this card. I think this card is nuts, actually. Now, yeah, I know with Seraph Knight you get an additional normal, but we don't really have that many normal summons in this deck. This is where it pains me to say only 2 copies of Thunder Dragon Fusion. You guys know I love this card at 3. I am trying it at 2, though, just for the sake of this deck. I felt like, yes, I love 3. Yes, I always want to start with it, but it's a card that I can search. It's a card that if I open it, I could just search Hawk instead with Roar and still do my same combos. And yes, I can recycle my Titans with it. But you guys know I love 3. But for this build, I think 2 was fine. You guys can see why. Like, our goal is to get to Saryuja. And since Saryuja is drawing us 4 cards, hopefully we get into this. After we do all our searching and everything, then we Saryuja draw. So 2 is fine. And then just 2 Allure. This card, kind of a gamble. That's why we only play 2. Because you really only want it with Dark. With, not Dark, with Roar. Because being able to have this plus Roar is great. You guys can see I'm terrible with my phone. But yeah, this with Roar is great. So yeah, but that's it for the deck. It's 40. I wanted to keep it a clean 40. There were a lot of other cards I wanted to play, but I just didn't. So it's just like I said, it's just another version of the deck for you guys to try out. Then the Broken Tokens, you guys already know. I got 2 of the Mecha Phantom Beasts. I still need to get 1 more. I need to get the 3rd one. So awesome. But on to the extra deck real quick. Fusions, of course, Triple Colossus, Heart and Soul of the deck. This card's nuts. Again, this pains me, just 2 Titan. I know, I love 3 Titan. In this build, I have seen, though, how you recycle the Titan. Like, you make the first one, then you use it to make the second one, and then you always have another Titan. So, I guess it's kind of the same thing. But since we're not playing Instant Fusion, we're not playing cards like that, 2 was fine. But you guys know I missed 3, for sure. And as you guys saw, we weren't playing Instant Fusion, so our only other Fusion target is the Prismora. Like I said, people were trying Seraph Knight, but I preferred Prismora just because of the flexibility to make Titan with it was just really strong. Links. Link 1. So for the usual play, of course, we need to have Link Spider because we need to be able to make it with the Sky Blaster tokens. So this card's essential. And then just 1 Summoner because again, we're not playing the regular build of the decks. We're not going into as many copies of this, and one was fine. I'll be honest, there were a lot of times I only wanted one copy in the regular deck, but then the second one would come up in the mirrors, so it was fine. But another link that we weren't playing before was Reproducus. Like, this being generic is really good. You can use it in the mirror match, then you can turn something else into a Thunder, and then if you discard, you can turn that into Colossus, so it's not bad. Of course, you use this to link climb into Summon Sort, but you do have the option for that too. Then again, we weren't playing other cards, so we weren't playing Phoenix, but this gives us out to back row. It's fine. The one Summon Sort, self-mentioned, this card should be banned, this card is retarded, like, it's so ridiculous. Like, I think this card, like, is insane, and I think that now that it's mass-produced, like, we're not going to see this card for much longer, so this deck will change most likely once this card gets hit, but this card just does so much for the deck, so it's pretty insane. And then, of course, still the staple Unicorn, you need it for the mirror. Borreload staple, you need it for the mirror. The MVP of the deck is Saryuja, so the whole point of the deck is to Saryuja Turbo, draw your cards, special summon extra Thunder Dragons, and ideally, if you can end with this up here, and then 3 Thunder Dragons, like, and like a Matrix or something in hand, like, I don't know how they break that board, like, it's pretty strong, so I think Saryuja is one of the best cards in the deck. And then the flex spot is the Bomber Dragon, so I saw a lot of people playing this. What's cool about this card is really good against the combo decks, because you basically just kind of make it to where you have the ability to just blow up their whole board, and that's huge. Like, blowing up their whole board is huge. Being able to burn them with this card is insane. I think a lot of people don't respect that, and that's probably why they lose to this card. I've lost to this card before, so I definitely respect it. What I like about it, so one thing I really like about these versus like cards like Borreload and stuff like that, you can make these with just 2 monsters. You have a Link 3 and a monster, you make these. I know what you guys are thinking, like, how often does that come up? You'd be surprised how often just making a Link 4 off 2 monsters comes up when you've already linked climbing up, so these cards are really good. But that's it, you guys. That is the deck. That is like the other version, other way you can play Thunder Dragons again. Sorry for the pretty, what's the word, not super nice looking phone deck profile, but I wanted to just share this with you guys while I'm on vacation. I think a lot of people just don't look to other options when they play decks. They see one build of the deck and feel that's the only way to do it. They never really try to innovate, but if you guys know anything about decks in Yu-Gi-Oh, they always have innovations, they always have changes that can, you know, be really essential for the deck, so I really like it. Like, again, I'm not a fan of, like, only 2 fusion, but it is something I'm trying. Allure is a little high risk, high reward, but, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. I still feel that these hand traps are essential. You don't have to play Ogre if you don't want to. If you want to play something like Valor, you want to play something like Droll, or what, I think Valor's actually better. To be honest, I think Valor might be the better call if you're not playing Ogres. Valor, I think, has applications against everything. And then just overall, like, I really like the Chaos Dragons, I really like the Sky Blasters. Like, these cards were the reason why I wanted to play the deck. So, definitely something you could try out, even if you're not playing the build exactly how I am. These cards are really good to try out. Like, anything to Saryuja Turbo is great. And yeah, overall, like, I think one of the only changes would be a 3rd Solar. I'm not sure what I would cut, or if I would just add something to make it 41 and be fine with that. But yeah, and I mean, like I said, Hawk and Matrix are flex, the only, like, real flex dragons in my opinion. Like, yes, you can play 3, but playing 2, you're not gonna, like, I guess, dead draw them as much. And yes, you could possibly dead draw Roar, but we can combo with Roar better than we can the other one, so I still like it. And the rest is pretty self-explanatory. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. If you did, be sure to smash that like button. Any suggestions would be great. If you guys have any upgrades to this deck, please let me know, because again, this is just kind of like a test copy of the deck. I have been playing it online a lot and having a lot of success. I've lost a couple games, but most of the games where I resolved Saryuja turn 1 was great. I think anything else we could do to turbo out Saryuja would make the deck amazing. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.